It's 10 o'clock on the dot. Good evening and welcome to the news at 10, brought to you by Eswatini TV. I'm Sanboy Ngoan. I'm with Nomakami Songambule. We're coming to you live from the Hospital Hill Studios in Babane. First, your headlines tonight. His Majesty King Eswatini III has proceeded to the city of Busan in South Korea. The Deputy Prime Minister says government will continue assisting child-headed families in meeting their needs. And the Minister for Public Works and Transport warns people who use government property for personal endeavors. Good evening, the news in detail. His Majesty King Eswatini III has proceeded to the city of Busan in South Korea. His Majesty the King arrived in that city from Seoul, accompanied by Nkosikazi Malaza.
His Majesty King Eswatini III arrived in the city of Busan in South Korea, accompanied by Nkosikazi Malaza. His Majesty is still on an official visit to the Republic of South Korea. Busan is the second largest city and #1 trading hub in Korea. The city, which has become not only a trade hub, but also commerce and industry, is a historic city that served as a temporary capital during Korea War and a refuge for men, women, and children fleeing the north to build new lives. In this visit, His Majesty is still accompanied by His Royal Highness Prince Ngangabani, Her Royal Highness Princess Elizabeth, Chief Msunduga, and the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Polile Shakantu. On the news, I'm Polile Mazia with Tabiso Dlamini in South Korea.
On behalf of His Majesty King Eswatini III, Her Majesty the Queen Mother, the government and the people of the Kingdom of Eswatini, His Excellency the Right Honourable Prime Minister Russell Miso Dlamini extended congratulations to His Excellency Narendra Modi on being re-elected as the Prime Minister of the Republic of India. The Prime Minister says it is in his fervent hope that working together with India will advance both countries' objectives in both bilateral and multilateral era. The Deputy Prime Minister, Senator Tulsi Ladle, says government will continue assisting child-headed families in meeting their needs. The Deputy Prime Minister was speaking when announcing a list of children that will receive vocational training for them to earn a living.
Prime Minister's office has vowed and taken it upon itself to meet the needs of child-headed families. Some have received houses from the DPM's office and life skills previously. The DPMO has announced a list of child-headed families that will receive vocational training.
Ezingihamba ngiyabakhanzela abantwana lesi bahlele emakhaya impilo lukhuni bagcine seba vulnerable sebayuzeka because bafuna kuphila sithi ke no to that. Umntwana akatimele and uma ede i-support system kulukhuni ukukhula wethu ekhaya kude umdala, so we are their support system. Kule mali ke uhulumende lasinike yona sitawufensa emakhaya labantwana that are child-headed, and then ke na lenye i-program ye-youth lebaqale i-farming sitawuphinde sibafakele nemathange emanti.
Beneficiaries thank the opportunity afforded them.
Ngithanda kubonga kumake DPM ngalasendele kona sibamfana laba felwa abadali. Ngingumfana lothenza i-catering bengikwenda kancane kepha kuthi ngize ngifolele ukhonile kungibhadalela ngiyofundzela i-catering. Nami ngidaba ne-restaurant ngicashela amanye emaswati lafana nami ngoba nami angaqali kwavele kwabalula.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu lesito lesekazivedele lona kakhulu empilweni impilo yami nami ngiyathemba ukuthi inyalo seyitawushintsha emaphupho ami sekatawufezeka konke benginawo. Ngiyathanza kakhulu kuchina into lengatimisela kakhulu kiwo lo msebenzi wekuchina.
TVET education has seen some students previously earning a living, some starting businesses. Eswatini TV News, I am Kian MCB with LinkedIn Kule Mbabane.
The Minister for Public Works and Transport, Senator Chief Malaza has warned people who use government property for personal endeavors. The minister says that it hinders the progress meant to be achieved when resources are being misused, which needs to be addressed. Now, the minister expressed these during a visit to Malaza to explore the roads being constructed in that area.
Minister began his journey at Eswatini, where he then proceeded to Ngoseni, inspecting the conditions of the road. The Honorable Minister of Public Works and Transport, Senator Chief Malaza says the road had a lot of dongas, hence the intervention to fix it.
Bekhona ke taba yetendiwe umuntu lebekathi akakubuke ngemehlo ukuthi kungiko yini singakuncoma yini kuletinye tindzawo ukuthi kuchubeke kwendiwe khona.
We came to inspect the progress. The Eswatini road is too foul. When it rains, it is a mess. We have installed top-layer soil temporarily, but we long to put in tarred roads in the area. Senior road engineer at the Ministry of Works, Vincent Dlamini, says a total of 40 million emalangeni is needed to finish the project. The pieces left are less strenuous. We have been working tirelessly on this road. A total of 40 million emalangeni is needed to finish the whole project. Member of Parliament of Malaza constituency, Honorable Mkutsisi Dlamini, says they will assist the ministry in ensuring the work gets done. As the constituency, we will play our role. We deal with people who don't do justice for the job. We do not encourage using government's property for personal use. The people from the area expressed their grievances about the road, saying that it is hard to get to town because of one bus in the area which barely drives when it rains, and they wish that will be fixed. For Eswatini TV, reporting is Bogutle Dlamini in Malaza.
The Honourable Minister for Finance, His Excellency the Honourable Neil Rickenback, says government is considering the formulation of a legislation that will govern the establishment of a royal commission. The Minister was speaking during an oral answer questions session.
When the House of Assembly resumed for parliamentary business, the Honourable Minister of Finance, Neil Rickenback, gave answers on a question by Lobamba Lomtsala, Member of Parliament, Mawik Kumalo, that says, will the Honourable Minister of Finance consider piloting a bill in Parliament that seeks to legally establish the Royal Commission, whose appointment will still be made by the head of state?
The functions of the Commission, reporting, the term of office, and the allowances. It is true that previously the Commission was appointed ad hoc. However, a decision has been taken to have the Commission in office on a continuous basis. The appointment will be done by the King's Office and not the Ministry of Finance, and the Ministry will take into consideration piloting of a bill that seeks to legally establish the Commission after consultation with relevant structures on how this can be implemented. So we'll be going ahead with looking at a bill, Honourable Speaker, but that the House can understand there is now a legal notice which actually does put them in as a permanent feature, which is, I think, a good interim measure until we come with something in the meantime. So that's how we've handled this for the time being, Honourable Speaker.
A royal commission is a major formal inquiry into a defined issue in some monarchies, and they have been formed in countries like the UK, Norway, and Australia, amongst other countries. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I'm Samkal Siwekoza, Parliament.
The Honourable Minister for Natural Resources and Energy, Prince Lonkokele, says the government is conducting a survey on the safe disposal of asbestos waste at the Bulemba asbestos mine. The minister was speaking in Parliament when responding to a question asked by a Lamgabi Member of Parliament.
The Honourable Minister of Natural Resources and Energy, Prince Longokela, gave responses before the House of Assembly following a question by Lamkapi, Member of Parliament Sicelo Jele, saying, "Can the Honourable Minister of Natural Resources and Energy give the August House a progress report on the Bulembo Asbestos mine in regards to how the waste is safely disposed of and what protective measures are being provided for the citizens?"
Ulumende la kwendile unebantu nje labakhona nyalo lebabuka lokuthi kepha indlela yokuthi kuze kuhlobe kahle kungentwa njani. Kune study ke lesikhona vele lesiprofessional lesibuka lokho ngobe iasbestos ayisiyo into lehamba malula nje ke. Kuhlangene ke ne-University of Johannesburg mcondzisi wetenkulumo kwekuthi basilekelele kulolu hlangothi. I-report ke ibhekekile ukuthi bekhona nga-2025 lapho ubonakala khona ukuthi kutabe kubukwa lokuthi kuhamba kanjani. Otherwise kunenkampani lebeyikhona mcondzisi wetenkulumo lebeyinikwe lo msebenzi kwethenjwa ke ukuthi ke nayo itawufaka imali kubuka lokuthi ingabe kuze lo msebenzi ube kahle ungangcolisi bantu kunjani beyine interest ke na kule mineral.
Members of the Honourable House then debated the matter.
Na 2025 ingabe is he aware yini ukuthi la madams noma ke le waste ingoti kangakanani uma ingake nje impunjuke ingene mhlambe kule mifula yethu?
I-concern yami isekuthenini le report iseyithethela ici iyevakala laba lasebahamba emhlabeni batawuconsider yini.
The Honourable Minister also responded to the questions.
Le study lesentiwa kunyalo tisasisita ngalokuphelele. Ngako ke bengicela ukuthi manje njoba siyasho ukuthi 2025 tabe seyikhona report kutabe sebonakala ukuthi iyeda ke lapha endlini kusho ukuthi kuhamba kanjani. Umthetho wakhona wena kunene lobhaliwe ukuthi kutawendwa njani nase kuhambe lelunga lelo.
The Honourable Minister also informed the House that the ministry is currently working with the Ministry of Labour to properly compensate ex-miners. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I'm Samkal Siwekoza, Parliament.
The Public Accounts Committee, PAC, has announced the suspension of all PAC sittings. Now, the announcement was made by the PAC chairperson, Madala Mhlanga, during a press meeting on Friday held at the House of Assembly chambers.
Cannot ignore the statement, Prime Minister, and to make our work grossly affected and compromised as we probe the controlling officers. Human nature tells it. It's the ride on the wave. Head of government, and to make our life tough to probe matters if there is doubts on the reports. Our Auditor General. We are aware even that Auditor General, as a supreme audit institution, if he labeled as incompetent, it will be almost impossible to proceed with our sittings so long as there is a cloud hanging over the office of the Auditor General. It is prudent, but I'm sure could seek the necessary guidance from the House, which duly elected this committee. In the meantime, the committee has resolved to suspend immediately all sittings. As you might be aware that we are right in the middle of probing the auditors General's reports for 2021 and 2023. And with this cloud hanging over the Office of the Attorney General, we need to get guidance from the House.
On the same note, the Honorable Prime Minister Russell Dlamini says he has nothing further to say on this matter. However, he will address it in Parliament should there be a need to do so. The Minister of Home Affairs, the Honourable Princess Lindiwe, says the ministry is working on digitizing services which will strengthen security and eliminate corruption. Now, the Ministry of Home Affairs had a workshop with the portfolio committees from both houses of Parliament at Asbestos Hotel on Friday.
Speaking during a workshop with the Portfolio Committee from both Houses of Parliament, the Minister for Home Affairs, Honourable Princess Lindiwe, says they have achieved quite a number of things as a ministry, including the 24-hour operation of the Oshuk Border Gate, as well as the civil registration bill last term, and the continuation of the mopping exercise, which has been successfully completed in the Shiselweni and Lubombo regions, but ongoing in the Manzini region, and will soon kickstart at the Hoho region.
Kune-project lesifuna kuyenda sitiko yekudigitizer letiko laka Home Affairs. Yinto lenkulu leyo lebhekene netiko laka Home Affairs lekufanele ukuthi igcine yendekile. Lefanele ukuthi sigcine siyibona iphumela ebaleni. Siyacela-ke ukuthi nisibambise nalapho malunga lahloniphekile. Le digitization yaka Home Affairs itosita live in terms of security. Ukuthi kube betelo forja letinto tethuka malula bebetelo phatha lothatha tinto tethuka malula.
She says they are working on digitizing the operations of the ministry to strengthen security. The Senate President Senator Lindiwe Dlamini urged officers to respect their work and save the nation with dignity.
Ngikhanzeke ukuthi litiko leligcina kusekelwa kakhulu kuze kuthi letinto letimcwa kangaka lamagugu elive lelifa lelive lokusivesalo ugqineke kahle. Lesikubonileke mntana Nkosi sikhanze ukuthi sekukhona la sebangibona ukuthi bangakusita ka Home Affairs babe bangasibo balakhaya simangale kakhulu. Lokusho ukuthi nje Nkosi siyabonga kakhulu na ukhuluma nge-digitalization.
The Minister of Home Affairs says currently there are no laws regulating non-governmental organizations, and Congo is without a policy to regulate NGOs. Money laundering and financing terrorism is on the rise. For Eswatini TV News, I'm Kiani Msibi with Nambumelelo Kumalo Ezulwini.
Right, with that, we shift gears into the world of business, where we take a look at financial indicators. They'll give us a sense of our markets for today in a financial report.
Standard Bank. It can be.
Welcome back. We'll move on with the news. Pastor Zakele Israel Malaza has passed on. Reports to the effect that he passed away in the Republic of South Africa after a short illness. Reports of his demise have been confirmed by his church, the Gospel Powerhouse International, through a statement issued by Pastor Mzwandile Makakule. Makakule says Pastor Malaza died on Thursday. He says details on further preparations will be communicated in due course. Malaza will be remembered for many reasons, including a sermon that went viral where he asked congregants about showing romantic affections to each other before marriage. Now, international news, the Umkhonto weSizwe Party has confirmed that it has had engagements with the African National Congress, the ANC, regarding coalition discussions.
After losing its outright majority following the May 29 national and provincial elections, the African National Congress has spoken with the Economic Freedom Fighters, Democratic Alliance, the Inkatha Freedom Party, National Freedom Party and Patriotic Alliance, South Africa's third largest political party following last Wednesday's elections. The Umkhonto weSizwe Party has released a statement confirming that it has had engagements with the African National Congress. The Umkhonto weSizwe Party spokesperson Hlamulo Ndlela says they will be meeting the African National Congress soon and with an open mind. Meanwhile, Somalia joins the UN Security Council after more than 50 years. The United Nations General Assembly elected Somalia to the 15-member UN Security Council for a 2-year term starting in 2025. The tiny Horn of Africa nation was among 5 countries that received the winning votes, alongside Denmark, Greece, Pakistan and Panama. It is both symbolic and strong diplomatic status for Somalia to appear among the Security Council members, and this will help Somalia to have a better access for member nations and have a vote on decisions regarding world conflicts. Following the news, the United Nations in Somalia congratulated the Somali government and its people on their country's elections to sit on the UN Security Council for 2025 to 2026. The 5 countries that got elected will replace Ecuador, Japan, Malta, Mozambique and Switzerland, whose terms end December 31. On another note, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has today addressed the French Parliament a day after world leaders marked 8th anniversary of the day landings in World War II, and French President Emmanuel Macron announced his country will provide Ukraine with 2,000 fighter jets. Macron also said France will train Ukrainian pilots as part of the new military cooperation with Kyiv. Wrapping up his address to the French National Assembly, Zelensky expressed hopes that a forthcoming peace summit in Switzerland would help restore just a peace in Ukraine and Europe, where he added that Europe is no longer a continent of peace, lamenting the return of war, deportations and hatred. For Eswatini TV News, Mpendulo Kumbi, visual source from France 24 VOA and DW.
In our sports news, we begin with this. The Eswatini Olympic and Commonwealth Games Association Chief Executive Officer Maxwell Jele says different local athletes continue with the 2024 Olympic qualifiers in different parts of the world, and that is the main reason the country has delayed to announce the final team to represent the country at the Games in Paris next month. Jele says if everything goes accordingly, the team will be announced on the first week of July this year, with the Games to begin on the 26th of the same month.
So with regards to Paris, Fabrice, everything is still ongoing and nothing has changed in terms of the dates. The opening ceremony is on the 26th of July. The entire team is going to arrive in Paris on the 25th of July. So we're still in the process of identifying the team itself. So that process is ongoing, and the reason why it's still ongoing is because there are still qualifiers happening in certain individual sports. Athletics is here today. There are the senior African senior championships that are going to be held in Cameroon. So up until that whole process has been closed, including the issue of the universality slots, then that is when the Games Commission will then meet, probably at the end of June. The Games Commission is going to meet to go through the final team composition and conclusion process. That is then going to be taken to the board for the board's input and endorsement. So once we come from the board, so in terms of timelines, we're probably looking at the end of the first week of July, somewhere around there, that the board is going to meet, and then we'll be ready to announce the team. Because ideally we'd like to announce the team with some days in advance so that, you know, whoever makes it to the team can also be part and parcel of the pre-departure camp before the team leaves for Paris.
And in football news, Zihlangu Samnegati bit the dust after losing a 0-0 against Angola in the World Cup qualifiers. And with that, we hit the home stretch of the news at 10 at Eswatini TV. But before we go, here's a quick reminder of news making headlines tonight. His Majesty King Eswatini III has proceeded to the city of Busan in South Korea. The Deputy Prime Minister says the government will continue assisting child-headed families and meeting their needs. And the Minister for Public Works and Transport has warned people who use government properties for personal endeavors. Well, with that, we hit the conclusion of the news at 10 at Eswatini TV. Thank you so much for choosing to stay with us. We shall now cross over to the Weather Center for detailed weather report from us and the team here at Eswatini TV. For now, it's a good night and God bless.
Hey, it's Nelson Makanya here. Let me take you through a tour of your own cities and your own country. This is the Kingdom of Eswatini. Join us and